Welcome back to the channel. And I got on the interwebs this morning after the gym. And there was a Mass Effect poll that happened. This is a culmination of all six of the polls. This is like the end result. And I'm looking, so this is a new poll. It's a new poll. It came out like 3 or 4 days ago, something like that. So I don't be on the BioWare subreddit. I don't be on Reddit in general. So I don't really be interacting with the BioWare fan base anywhere but my videos. So like, I see this poll on the interwebs, and I'm like, God damn, bro. Why is this happening right now? I want to see more Mass Effect more than anything anymore. I want to see more Mass Effect. EA hasn't been talking about it. It's been like, what, almost 2 years since the last drop of Mass Effect information. That's not like some random ass YouTuber saying they got a leak and it's not real. But like, these polls are actually pretty. I don't like when people just like make shit up, but like there's a lot of good talking that can be had here. Like the first one is like a generic as like, what's your favorite game poll? So we don't really need to talk about that one too much. I mean, it's a good intro talking point. That's the first poll. 558 people interacted with it. Mass Effect 2 is the biggest out of them because it was the most successful game. Because it was the first multi-platform Mass Effect game. And it was the highest rated Mass Effect game. So, I mean, I kind of understand statistically why Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3 have more over Mass Effect 1. Mass Effect 1 is personally my favorite because I was an Xbox nigga. I played BioWare games from OG Xbox to Xbox 360 before EA bought them. So, I mean, I was there in the beginning. It was jarring as fuck to go to Mass Effect 2 for me because they changed so many systems. They changed so many systems. RPG systems were cut down. There was a cover shooter like fucking Gears of War. There was no gun customization. They had fucking thermal clips. Bro, when I first played Mass Effect 2, the thermal clip was the bane of my existence. I hated the bullets. I really hated bullets. And even after you read the codex, and that's why guns didn't have bullets, but EA really had them write in bullets. They had them write in bullets. Like, nigga, we had fucking heat sinks. And they wrote in bullets. They really wrote in bullets in the fucking thermal clip. And I'm like, the codex tell you specifically they don't use bullets no more. But other than that, we can go on to the next poll. Poll 2, the next game title. And this, I'm looking at it and I'm like, damn. Like the fans that like, interacted with the poll, there's a lot of consensus going on here. Because ME5, them niggas don't exist to me. If you call this motherfucker ME5, go somewhere else. You don't exist. The ones that go for other, you don't want to choose. That's fine. ME4 is the route that I would go because it's the next Milky Way game. So it should be a mainline game. But there's 51% that think the game should have a subtitle. And I'm like, see, I didn't even think of that because they showed the Milky Way, they showed Liara. This should be another mainline game. That's what I'm thinking. But should the game get another subtitle? Like, should it be another subtitle game? That could work. That could work. ME5 is a dumbass choice. Stop putting it everywhere. I hate the journalists that say ME5 because there's a subtitle game in between 3. So since 3 has a subtitle, which is Andromeda, the next game should be the 4th installment. But for some reason, they just like to count number of games and just go like, it's so dumb. Like, I really hate that mindset because there's no Dragon Age 3. You never see somebody call Inquisition Dragon Age 3. It's Dragon Age Inquisition. Veilguard is not Dragon Age 4. It's Dragon Age the Veilguard because they're a subtitle of Dragon Age 2. They're the story finishing out. But we got to keep it moving, bro. We got to keep it moving. So subtitle for the next Mass Effect game. I read this poll and I'm coming around to the idea. Like, the latest, which is like, what, 2 years ago almost now. The latest news that came out for Mass Effect, it muddied the fuck out of the waters, bro. It muddied the fuck out of the water. So now me as a fan, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Because what I was thinking was happening and what's actually happening are probably two different things. We're gonna move on to the next poll, the next protagonist, and this is probably the biggest talking point of the next Mass Effect game, the next protagonist. Because nobody is gonna be in agreement on this. 68% of the 999 people that applied, that voted, are saying new character, which makes so much sense. I'm probably gonna be in that majority as well, because new character just makes sense for me as a person, because 500 plus years has passed since Mass Effect 3. At the same time, Andromeda is going on. I'm pointing to my collector's edition. I always do that because it's like right there. It's like right there. So like, I always point to the collector's edition when I mention Andromeda. But like, the new character just makes sense. Andromeda's going on around parallel the same time that this game should be starting. Unless this game, because like the Andromeda people wake up 600 years into the future of the Milky Way. So 600 years in the Milky Way, there was only a year of the Reaper invasion. So the other 599 years that they were sleeping on the way to Andromeda, I think this game is taking place. I don't know if it takes place after Andromeda is already finished, but a part of me feels like it's deeper in the future than that. Because the latest trailer, like the latest teaser with like the pictures and shit, it muddied the fuck out of those waters. So new character, I'm with that. Established character doesn't make fucking sense. But the writer people were here. Which, who the fuck would want to be writer? Writer should be dead. Because how are they coming back? And that's why I say it muddied the waters. Because like in that picture that they showed with like the new Mass Effect N7 person with the shielded mask with the drip on, lovely ass character. We don't know what the fuck that is. They were graceful as fuck when they were walking. They did in that little like teaser picture that they made. The Geth were there. The Angarian were there. So we don't know if that picture is a reflection of the galaxy we're playing the game in, or if it's just a picture that they created. Because they show all the races like co-mingling inside a club together, and it's like, how the fuck did Angarian get here? How the fuck did the Geth get here? There's so many things that are going on in that picture that to this day I'm still like, I don't understand what the fuck is going on right now. But the Shep people, I understand. Like, nigga, Shep is there, bro. Big Shep, but there's too much time. Time is gonna take Shep away from us no matter what. So it's not like Shep couldn't be there, but Tom is gonna take Shep away no matter what. Liara is old as fuck in human years. She's probably like almost matriarch stage in like actual Mass Effect time for the Asari. She's probably almost matriarch stage, but in human years she's old as fuck. She's probably like damn near 600. So Shep is definitely gonna be dead. And if Shep does come back, how are they gonna do romance? Because all the other characters are going to be dead. Time is taking them away from us. Liara is going to be the only one surviving. So if Shep get woke up cryogenically or some bullshit, or you playing a clone of Shep, nobody's going to enjoy that. Even though it's going to be Shep, nobody's going to enjoy that. Not really. But it's an option. It's definitely an option. It's not like it's not going to be. But new character would make the most sense. Established character doesn't make sense unless it's writer. But who the fuck actually wants to be writer? Because which writer? Is it going to be Sarah or Scott? Because Sarah's the better writer of the two. Scott is not that good. The game isn't even written for Scott to be the main character. It's written for that nigga to be in a coma. So if you put Sarah in the coma and you do all that shit as Scott, the game seems strange. Like I know the characters talk the same, but the dialogue don't fit a male main character for Andromeda. I say that all the time. I'm actually live streaming the game. Probably as we speak when you see this video. Who knows? But the next one, like the next poll, I'm covering that bitch up. So I should probably move myself so we can see the next poll. Because this is how these things work. So the next poll is the next location. Which is another thing, because they showed that fucking picture, bro. And we don't know if we take the picture at face value or if it's just BioWare and them, you know, doing their little thing. But that fucking picture had Angaran and Geth in it. What the fuck does that mean? We don't know what it means. They showed the N7 person, you know, gracefully walking, dripped out. That's lovely. Could be the next main character, could be the next villain. We don't fucking know. The N7 could be doing anything right now. But it's a human story, so it's going to be a human protagonist. That's usually how this goes. The next location is muddy as fuck now because they showed the Milky Way. They showed the destruction. They showed Liara walking up a goddamn Reaper corpse. So, like, it's Milky Way for sure. But how the fuck is the Angaran there? Who the fuck was that other race of people that they showed at the bar? Like, there's so many things. Why is the Geth alive? There's so many questions, and we have no answers. Because it's been almost 2 years since that teaser. It's so crazy. The speculation is going wild. So I can see why this poll, like the Milky Way is for certain. We know it's in the Milky Way. But is it Andromeda and Milky Way because they showed the fucking Angaran? Because they showed the Geth? Which takes us to the next poll. Well, not the next poll, but like the status of the Citadel. I think it's still going to be in the Sol system because I don't know if the Milky Way races after the what you call it, after the Catalyst destroyed everything, has the ability to move the Citadel back to Widow. I don't think that's the case, because how are they going to get to Widow? They would have to rebuild the whole mass relay network to get a relay that connects to Widow, because all of them don't connect to Widow. All of them don't connect to Widow. So, like, there's a connection point. That's why when you see the mass relays, when you play the game, you see them jump from system to system, because that's how the Reapers devise the plan to get everybody to move through the galaxy. So they know everybody's movements before they even move, because they designed the movements of the relays. So the relays that connect to Widow, they would have to rebuild every system by system to get to that system, to rebuild that relay, to get to Widow, to move the fucking Citadel. How long is that going to take? So I'm thinking that motherfucker stays in Sol, like it did at the end of Mass Effect 3. That's me personally, because I don't see them rebuilding that shit fast enough to even want to move the fucking Citadel. I think the Citadel being rebuilt in Sol, like they showed at the end of Mass Effect 3, just makes sense, bro. It just makes sense. Leave it there, because they're going to get so used to it being in Sol, rebuilding the rest of the universe, that there's going to be no reason to move that shit back to Widow. Because they're going to be so used to jumping to Sol anyway. They're going to be so used to jumping to Sol to use the fucking Citadel anyway, that it doesn't make sense to move it to Widow after they rebuild everything. It just doesn't. They could. They could just be like, okay, we're in agreement. We finally finished everything. Let's move it back to neutral territory and be done with it, because it's going to be in human regulated space. There could be some conflict of interest there. Who knows? Who knows? If it's moved back to Widow, that's crazy. If it's still destroyed, it doesn't make sense, because they showed it fixed at the end of Mass Effect 3. They're going to rebuild that hoe. They're going to rebuild it. Who knows how long it's going to take, but they're going to rebuild that bitch. Now, the one we need to get to, Poll 6. The canon ending now has me scrapped. Why? Because that fucking teaser 2 years ago. Because the first teaser, when it showed Liara walking upon those corpses, we knew it was the Destroy ending. We knew for a fact we got it right. It's the Destroy ending. We got that shit. But then the next teaser came. And they showed that fucking picture. And that whole bar. It has Angaran in that bar. It has Geth in that bar. It says unknown race in that bar. What the fuck does that mean, BioWare? Like, this is a fan poll. This ain't got nothing to do with BioWare themselves or nothing like that. It's completely fan generated. It's completely fan voted. BioWare had nothing to do with this. I don't know if I clarified that in the beginning of the video or not. But like, BioWare and them muddied the fuck out of the water when they did that shit. Because we don't know what to take from that picture. Can I even bring the picture up? I don't even know if I have the picture anymore, because it was so long ago when that picture came out. I didn't even think to look up the picture. But like, that picture had an Angaran in it. Standing there talking to an Asari. With a Geth as a bodyguard. It was crazy. I'm like, what the fuck is going on in the Mass Effect universe right now? It was like, nigga. Y'all don't, like, I don't know what to think no more. So now I'm looking at this chart. And it's like, it could be destroyed still because the Reapers are dead. Could it be Control and that just be a body of a Reaper that died in combat? It could be. But if it's the Control ending, why would Reaper Control Shep not take all the corpses? Why would it leave it on the planet? He's helping them rebuild the galaxy anyway. Why don't he clean up the Reaper corpses that's everywhere? Have your Reaper minions come in and clean up those motherfucking corpses. And take them bitches back to dark space. Or get them motherfuckers decommissioned. Or whatever the fuck you're going to do with them. So I don't think Control would be the case. And then Synthesis. Synthesis. That shit, like, Control and Synthesis, to me, you were indoctrinated, bro. The indoctrination got to you. It corrupted your brain. BioWare won. If you chose Control and Synthesis, that's what I thought personally. Like, you got indoctrinated heavy if you thought those were good ideas. Destroy is the only idea that makes sense, even if you got to sacrifice the Geth. The Geth could be rebuilt. That's what I was thinking back in the day in Mass Effect 3, even when I replayed it in Legendary Edition. The Geth could be rebuilt. The Geth were software programs before they were hardware. Legion gave their ass autonomy. There's so, like, there's things, and it only showed one Geth. It only showed one Geth. The Geth just standing there posted up. So it could, like, the Geth could just be hardware now. They software could be destroyed. They could rebuild the Geth bodies, but they don't be AI no more. They could just be VI programs inside robots. That could be the case. That Geth could not be a real Geth. It could not be a sentient life form Geth no more. We don't know. That's why it's only one, and it's just standing there with his flashlight here. Like, we really don't know. And I'm like, fuck me, bro. BioWare kind of ruined it. Because what I was expecting as a fan is to have concrete answers to all of these polls. I know what I'm picking. The Mass Effect 4 thing, I'm picking it. The new character thing, I'm picking it. The Milky Way thing, I'm picking it. And then the Destroy ending in Poll 6, I'm picking it. Because that's, like, personally, it just makes sense to me. But now everything's murky as fuck and they ain't talked about the game since. And I'm like, BioWare, buddy, like, you got to get the speculation out of here, bro. You got to clear up the water, bro. Clean up the debris. You got to do something because these polls are outrageous. And it makes sense why they're so outrageous. Because, like, we literally have no concrete evidence on what to go on. So what all the fans are hoping to be the Mass Effect 3's ending is Destroy. But then they showed that picture. And this was from 3 days ago. So we've all seen the teaser trailer and the picture that came out. Hopefully, I think all the BioWare people seen it. I don't know. I ain't been on the subreddit. I really don't know how informed these people are that's voting. But, like, the Angaran was in that picture, bro. The Geth were in that picture. Destroy gets rid of the Geth. The Andromeda people shouldn't be able to come back to the Milky Way. That's what I'm thinking, because, like, if you play Andromeda, you know for damn sure the Initiative or not, they don't have the capabilities of getting back to the Milky Way. We know for a fact that the Quarians and the Hanar and the Solar, I mean the Elcor and shit, they don't get to make it to Andromeda. We know that. We know that the Turian Ark is completely fucked. They don't get to salvage that bitch. The Nexus don't have the power to get them back to the fucking Milky Way. I know that for a fact. Well, will the Milky Way galaxy do something to help the fucking Andromeda galaxy? I'm not too sure about that either. Why? Because how many people knew that the Initiative was leaving? That it's still going to be alive after the invasion of the Reapers? The only people that live long enough to know are the Asari and the Krogan. Everybody else would be dead. All the leadership that knew about the Initiative leaving would be dead. They would be definitely dead. Except the Asari leaders and a Krogan leader. But at the point in time in which this game takes place, Rex would probably be dead because he's already almost 1,000. Who will be the next Krogan leader? We don't know. Maybe it's Grunt. Our son could be leading the Krogan. He's peak Krogan. He'll probably be like 500 at this time. We seen that Liara's still alive. She knew about the initiative, but how many other Asari knew about the initiative? Besides like the Asari counselor, maybe a couple matriarchs. Them bitches would be dead because they were already old. Liara's old as fuck in human years. In Asari years, she's probably like middle age. She's probably almost mama age. So like there's so much muddled shit going on now. I don't know what to think. And these polls got that shit riled up. I like talking about Mass Effect so much, bro, but this shit brought back so many questions. Because even fans on a fan poll, the discrepancies are crazy. Because now we don't know what the fuck to think. After they showed that picture with the Angaran and the Geth with the Solarians and the Krogans, and I'm like, there's no fucking way that you did that. There's no fucking way that they did that. Who knows, bro? That could have been a Quarian in a Geth mask. Just cross-playing in the club. We don't know, bro. And that's the crazy part. I'm in this right here. Make sure to like button, subscribe. Damn, bro. This poll was actually really good. I might need to go to the Bioware subreddit a couple times just to see, because I thought it was full of doom and gloomers, but they actually doing some productive shit over there. But damn, that next title, that's a good talking point, bro. The canon ending and stuff, like, they have to canonize something. I understand they have to, because the 12% on important decisions, we all want that to happen. It's not like we all don't have wishful thinking, but like, we see what happened to Dragon Age. After Inquisition, there was so many variables. BioWare can't culminate all of them. There's so many variables to go through that they wrote themselves into a place where they like, shit, we gotta prune some of these motherfucking branches. They had to prune some of the branches. Some of the branches they pruned were actual canon. So Morgan not mentioning the child not one time means they pruned a whole canon event of Morgan having a child with the hero of Ferelden. That means Dragon Age 2 shouldn't have happened in that fucking universe, because Anders wouldn't have did that shit. Because why? He wouldn't have become a Grey Warden. Why? Because the Warden Commander would have died in Denerim. He wouldn't have went to become Warden Commander at all. Awakening wouldn't have happened. So what the fuck? BioWare muddied the fuck out of Dragon Age. So I think they definitely need to canonize something to write the next Mass Effect game. And we all, like, everybody's not gonna agree on what that canon is, and that's what that canon ME3 ending is saying right there. They don't know what the canon should be. Everybody's still guessing, and I'm just as clueless as y'all are, bro. But that's the fate that we have as being fans. I'm gonna end this right here. Make sure to like button, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.